Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the Port versus West Coast game, in which Port ran out pretty convincing winners in the end, 120-70. That was always what we sort of expected to occur. Rosie and Butters leading the charge, but it was mostly their halfbacks and everyone just getting involved with a goal or two that really sparked it. I mean, they kicked 16 goals, 24, so I expect a better team, or a team that's more accurate in front of goal, to really kick away from West Coast this year. West Coast do look good, but better than last year. But against the top teams, it's still going to be 50, 80, 100-point thrashings, I think. As luckily for them, they didn't have any injuries this time around, so their injury path should be a little bit better. They get more games into Reed, Jimby, with Hewitt when he comes back. Elio's still there. Who else? Just looking at the rookies here, Chesser should be getting more games. Ned Long looks decent. So, and they've got obviously Brockman, and when they get Flynn back, it should be better. But they're still looking poor. Their ruck department is absolutely shambolic. They don't really have a good secondary ruck, and I guess Oscar Allen looks very, very one man up there type thing. But anyway, before we get into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So Rosie did his thing, knew this was going to happen, but the good thing about it was Rosie priced it, 105 or whatever, 108, whatever. He went 111 and Butters 4 points behind him, so I think Butters made up ground. If anything, Rosie had a quiet fourth quarter, and if it wasn't for a goal right at the end, he would have ended up 104 and behind Butters. So that was what I was expecting. Didn't blow me away, but wish I'd gone for the Rosie Butters crouch option. That would have been a lot better than the Bont Butters Wines option. Butters did really well, very, very consistent, didn't really blow the game open, didn't really lay that many tackles, I think he laid only 2 for the game, and they came in the last minute. Yeah, he laid 2 for the game and they came in the last minute, so not too worried about him. He'll have games where he absolutely breaks it open, goes 140, that's sort of the guy that he is. Had a couple of free kicks against that were so not free kicks, it was pretty poor, and he should have ended up with a 113 or so. So I think he can go that 108 to 110 guy. And that'll be perfect. That'll be an M7, M8 type role when it comes down to it, as he's going to be gaining value plus also putting up decent scores, and we sort of trade in the better guys. Soldo, 98, not really fancy relevant, I don't think. Going to have patches like this, and came up against West Coast, who are so poor in the ruck. I think he scores like an 80 against most rucks. Bergman, he did really well, not really fancy relevant, I don't think, in the long term. Just one of these outlier games. I don't think the role sustains him for a fancy relevant role. Drew, 94, and he did all right. He kicked a couple goals, which got him up to that, I believe. So 94 from him. But it's good to see that he's got more facets to his game than what he's almost tagged as just a tagger. Horn Francis, 87. He looked really good. He's that impact player. Not going to be real. I don't think he'll ever be fancy relevant, to be honest with you. I think he's going to be a guy that goes 100. One day, but it's going to be a slow progression up to that 100. He's never really going to break out into that 100 guy, and I think that he could be one of the best players in the comp, but he's never going to be really fantasy relevant, to be honest with you. Burton, 82, Farrell, 81, Boak, Dixon, Houston, a 75, and this is why we don't go with Houston, because it looked all great and rosy in the first quarter, and then he decided to put up 40 for the rest of it, and this is why Houston I didn't like. Marshall, and then Wines decided to go one worse than Houston. Really good first 3 quarters, 59, and I thought, okay, this could be a 80, 85 if he pushes hard, and then does 13 in the last. So he's on the chopping block, but I don't think he'll go this week, just because it's best 18 and we want scores, and getting rid of the worst, those rookies playing some more lockdown roles are the better option than going for a Wines up, as Wines could easily produce a really good score. If he goes at 100, that will be good in the role that in the position that I have him in FM5. Finlayson, Dirk Thatcher, Burn Jones, Alir, Mead. As I said to anyone that was going to grab him in, do not grab him in, as he is, when the midfielders come back, he's going to not really be there, and that's point proven, 60, not really fancy relevant. Rioli, Jones, Radicalier, McEntee, and then Evans. McEntee concussed, I believe. He looked out of his feet, basically, so He'll be out for 12 days, and Francis Evans will come in, but they're not fantasy relevant anyway. Then we move over to West Coast. McGovern 85. Just really look at how low that is. 1162 to 1612. They'll get better, I think. They just came up against a dominant side. McGovern 85. Not really gonna budge on that, really. Not really fantasy relevant. Yo, a 70. He just had a bad third quarter. If that third quarter is an 80, that looks all right. But he'll be a holder for the next couple of weeks. Sort of how McGrath happened last year for me. He's not really on the trade block at the moment. There's other things we got to get to. But yeah, definitely one that we're going to look to upgrade in fantasy. But Supercoach, I think it was fine. I think he went like 96 in Supercoach just because he laid so many tackles and was pretty efficient with the ball, I believe. Hunt 68, Duggan 67, Hoff 65. I thought that Hoff would do something like this. They said that he was going to do more lockdown, but it looks like he was involved in a lot of the switches. Williams 64, Cripps 63, Witherden 62, Waterman 60, Jimby 58. So again, he's going to be a third year breakout, I'm telling you. Going to be a third year breakout, priced at 65, whatever that's going to be. Let me just check. If that was from the starting price, let's say a 65, he would be priced at a 586. So yeah, I think he's going to do something like that next year. Cole, Kelly, Reed. Reed did exactly what we thought he'd do. A little bit slow in the second and the third, but yeah, he'll be fine. So not worried about Reed. And yeah, he's just going to be a forward rookie. Probably could be necessarily a bench option. But I think he puts up better games against other opposition. Petrocelli, Jamison, Edwards, Allen. Chester needs to get on the field. He did really well in his time on 33 in basically a half. Is decent. As you see here, that Gaff, in less than a half. So yeah, I think they just need to get games into him as he looks like a decent player. Long probably should have given that the miss that he had, given it off to Harley Reid for a shot, as he missed it pretty badly, and Harley was 10 more meters inside 50. But other than that, he's not really fancy relevant. Brockman, Darling, and then Barras, who was put up an 8. So yeah, not really fancy relevant because he's a key defender. But that was the recap of the Port versus West Coast game. Not many rookies to really talk about. Only Harley Reid. West Coast have no premiums, and then the premium support, Rosie and Butters did their thing, and no one else really for Port did anything. So it was really only about 3 players we had to worry about in this game, and that pretty much, and Wines as well, but Wines is Wines, and he decided to have an off game, so he's on the chopping block, I guess, and Yo to a certain extent. So we had 5 players in this game to worry about. But yeah, other than that, nothing much to talk about with this game, and that's why it's a very, very short recap. But I guess I will see you guys in the last recap of the round, the Freo versus Brisbane Boilover out west, and then we get into the round review, cash cows, trade targets, predictions, and the Super Coaching Fantasy team reveals on the Thursday. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next game recap. Bye, guys.